Got it.
Okay.
You
I guess we're ready to go.
And you was gone.
Go, Paul. How about some volume? Countdown clock, guys.
We're on Facebook.
We are?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
He's live.
Hey, and you faded it out nicely.
Yeah, I did, hey?
After 150 shows.
Pretty good, Dad.
Fade to gray.
All right. Hey, okay. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our... Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach for October the 30th, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. My name is Chris Kerwin. I'm the creator of the social media channels known as Astronomy by the Bay, and I'm an amateur astronomer and a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. First of all, I'd like to introduce our regular co-host and fellow RAS member, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moonshadow Observatory in Hampton, NB. Beautiful Hampton, NB.
It is indeed. Hello, everybody.
151 is going to be the one, Mike says. I don't own Mike. And I'd like to also introduce our other regular co-host and fellow RAS member, Mr. Mike Powell from the PFO Observatory here in beautiful St. John. Welcome, Mike.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Hay is for horses, grass is for people.
That'll work.
As Lisa says, good evening.
Happy Hallows Eve. Gail says Happy Hallows Eve. All right.
Getting close.
We are, yeah. Very close.
Gonna dress up like an astronomer?
Maybe, yeah.
This would scare people.
Yeah, sure would. This hobby. Okay, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, now you've purchased a telescope and now you will want accessories that make the most of your experience. Now, it's not uncommon to spend as much on accessories as you do on the telescope, right, guys?
Absolutely.
One of the items you'll probably end up purchasing will be additional eyepieces, but with so many choices out there, it can be difficult to be sure that you're getting the value for your dollar. Now, on tonight's discussion segment, Paul is going to offer some information on eyepieces and try to help you make the right choices. Also tonight, Vinyl Bud will be returned with another fine binocular target of the week. Mike will also be presenting his next lunar challenge.
Hopefully a correct one.
Yeah. Also, Rosanna has kindly provided another interesting fun fact segment for us, and Paul will have another astro tip of the week to share as well. I'll provide you with a look at what's happened or what is happening this week in the sky, and also have all of your wonderful photo submissions to share. So this is a family-friendly interactive live broadcast. So for those of you joining us from my YouTube channel or Facebook page, we are happy to try and answer all of your questions here related to astronomy in real time as well. And of course, we'd like to welcome back all of those who have been following us through the Rogers TV network. Thank you for your support. Okay, guys, so let's get started then with tonight's program and discussion around your choices for eyepieces. And
Give me a second with my mouse.
Mr. Paul.
Yeah.
If I had an eyepiece, I'd view it in the morning. Good evening.
Okay, so before I get into the little presentation on eyepieces, I just wanted to make mention that what we're going to talk to you about is just the different types of eyepieces and what makes them different to the other. We'll talk about some eyepieces in how they relate to certain types of telescopes. So if you have a certain type of telescope, what may or may not work for that telescope, so you're not buying the wrong thing. We'll talk a little bit about 2-inch eyepieces versus 1 1/4, always a big question. And we'll cover some of that stuff and whatnot. So having said all of that, I guess we'll get into it. I'm going to share my screen and see if I can't get the right one to come up. And let me know if it does, because I can't see on this.
There you go.
Zoom panel. Is it there?
What's up? Yep.
What type of eyepieces should you buy?
Perfect. Okay, so let's jump right into this. First of all, what is an eyepiece? An eyepiece, of course, is just an ocular. It's something that you need to look through your telescope to be able to see something. Without an eyepiece, you'd have to get your eye down to where the focal point is in your telescope. In most cases, it's still inside the telescope. So, so you wouldn't be able to see much anyway. So what the eyepieces are designed to do is to allow you to see different views of whatever target that you're looking at. So for example, if you were looking at Jupiter and you just want to see Jupiter and all of its moons, well, you would probably use a wider eyepiece for that. But yet, if you want to look at the red spot on Jupiter and get a close look at it, well, then you'd want to use an eyepiece that's got a lot more magnification, which will help you get in closer to that. So those are some of the things that we'll talk about, but typically that's what an eyepiece does for you. And there's a variety of them. So let's just get right into this. So what type of telescope eyepiece should you buy? So what sort of eyepiece then should you use? So a casual inspection of most publications advertising optical accessories will reveal a plethora of types, almost as many varieties as telescopes, it seems. So choosing the right one for you depends on several factors. There are objects you wish to observe, and how tolerant are you of optical imperfections, because they're not all made equally. Whether you want narrow or wide fields of view. Mike loves the wide fields of view. Whether or not you wear glasses, and as always, how much are you prepared to spend? So which one? So you can see here, here's a table full of eyepieces. And believe it or not, this is just a drop in the bucket of what's out there. There's a lot of duplication out there, of course. And you can see some in this particular instance, a lot of those eyepieces in the middle, the 1 1/4 inch sizes, they're quite small. But then you look at these other ones on the outer rim, and they look like hand grenades, and some of them are as heavy. So which one is right for you? So let's talk about eyepiece designs first. So there's eyepiece types. So some names like ultra wide will give you a clue to an eyepiece principal characteristic. Others have classic names like Kellner, orthoscopic, Plossl, or Erfel, or more specific modern variants like the Nagler and the Lanthanum. Optical aberrations, deviations from the ideal form, are better corrected in some designs than others. But like everything else in life, the higher the price, the better the quality, or at least it should be. So cost-effective eyepieces. So basically, when you go out and buy a telescope for the first time, they'll usually include a 10 millimeter and a 25 millimeter and maybe a 2x Barlow. That's usually what you get for optics when you buy an entry-level telescope. So even so, eyepieces with desirable characteristics still can be attained at reasonable cost once you know what to look for. Now, at the budget end of the market, 3-element, meaning they have 3 lenses inside them, eyepieces labeled Kellner or MA, which is modified achromat, can turn into a good performance with scopes of long focal ratio, such as our Schmidt-Cassegrains and traditional refractors. So they do not work well with telescopes of short focal ratio. Now that would be something along the lines of a Newtonian, not so much a Dobsonian, because you're getting into longer focal lengths, but the smaller Newtonians, smaller refractors, and things like that. So Meade, MA, of course, modified achromats. This is a Kellner, the 3-element Kellner, gives sharp, bright images at low to medium powers, but used on small to medium-sized telescopes. Kellners have apparent fields of view of around 40 degrees and good eye relief through though short at higher powers. So this is a good low-cost performance design. And these are sometimes the ones that you'll get with entry-level scopes. When you get into intermediate eyepieces for optically fast Newtonians and the like, and what they mean fast is on all telescopes they have what they call an F ratio, which is how fast can that light be converted from the front of the telescope to either your eye or a sensor. And so fast would be anything from, say, F5 down, or even F6 down is considered a fast telescope. When you get into like your Schmidt-Cassegrains and that, which are F10s, some of them are F13s, when you get into the Max, all that sort of thing, those are slow telescopes. And basically what that means to you is a slow telescope means you're going to have a dim objective to begin with, unless you're looking at a very bright object. And vice versa, if you have a fast telescope, very bright objects will be very bright at the eyepiece. So for optically fast Newtonians and the like, better results will be obtained with 4-element designs, such as the slightly out of fashion, but otherwise desirable orthoscopic or the Plössl. The latter, the Plössl, is a good all-rounder, particularly when anti-reflection multi-coated. So, we'll get into that a little bit. So a Plössl can deliver well-corrected wide fields of view with good eye relief, meaning that the eye can be positioned at a comfortable distance behind the rear lens and still see the whole field of view that your eyepiece allows. It's worth pointing out that the observers who wear glasses to correct simple long or short-sightedness, but no astigmatism, don't need to use them at the telescope. A twist of the focuser will remedy that. So most eyepieces with people with glasses, you can basically get around that just by refocusing for yourself, for your glasses. So here's what a Plössl would look like. And you're going to notice on the top that the size of the glass on these Plössls are relatively big on a 25 millimeter. This one here would be probably like a 10 or an 8, and it's going to have a very small, tight a piece of glass on it, if you will. So Plössl. So today's most popular design, the 4-element Plössl, provides excellent image quality, good eye relief, and an apparent field of view of around 50 degrees. High quality Plössls exhibit high contrast and pinpoint sharpness out to the edge. So this is ideal for observing basically all targets, really, especially star fields. They're excellent for star fields. Now, premium wide field eyepieces, the high powered lunar and planetary viewing entails the use of a short focal length eyepiece. This has spawned the development of 6 to 8 elements, and even more now, because when I did this slide, this was a few years ago, so they've actually put more in there now, but it's from 6 to 8 element designs that combine comfortable eye relief and a very wide apparent field. They may feature exotic rare earth glass elements to reduce optical aberrations still further. Many regard these lanthanum or ultra wide designs as the pinnacle of eyepiece evolution. But for many people, the price will be the barrier, and their physical size and weight may be an issue for delicately balanced small scopes, because some of these particular scopes that give you these extreme wide fields they have to be built so big and heavy to house and give you the optical size that it needs to show you the clear views, that a small, tiny telescope, you just can't use them on them. So here's some premium wide angle telescopes. So you can, or eyepieces rather, sorry. So you can see that these things are, these are, the one in the front has got a 2-inch barrel on it. And those things weigh, I bet you, probably close to a pound. They're heavy. So ultra wide types. So various improved designs incorporating 6 to 8 lens elements boast apparent fields views of up to 85 or 100 degrees. So, I mean, that's twice what the Plössl is, 2 times the width that you can look through. So wide you have to move your eye around. It's kind of like looking at a porthole in a ship when you're looking through a porthole, looking outside, you move your eye all around to see what's out there. That's what these are like. So wide you have to move your eye around to take in the whole panorama. Light transmission is slightly diminished, but otherwise the image quality in these eyepieces are very high. So too is their price. Some of these eyepieces are $600, $700, $800 just for an eyepiece. Coatings on lenses. Now here's an important thing to look for if you are going to shell out a little bit of money for an eyepiece. You want to have it coated, and let's talk about that. Optical coatings and lenses are almost always made of magnesium fluoride, and they are applied in a vacuum chamber. A single optical coating should have a very subtle blue color when you look at the lens surface at an angle. When you're dealing with multi-coats, it will have a green or even a purple tint when you examine that surface at an angle. In all, there are several accepted classifications for optical coatings. So the first one is coated. So coated just means that at least one air to glass surface in the optical system has an optical coating. Fully coated means that all air to glass surfaces in the optical systems have an optical coating. Now we're getting into what they call multi-coated. Means that at least one air to glass surface in the system has an optical multi-coat. In other words, there are it's not just coated on one side or the other, but there's also, in addition to that, there's extra coatings that are in there, and the rest should have at least a single optical coating. The ones that are the most are the best coated, of course, would be fully multi-coated. Now that sounds a little confusing, but when you think about it, it's just 4 different levels of coatings. 2 levels of either coated or fully coated, and the 2 levels of multi-coated or fully multi-coated. So fully multi-coated means that all the air to glass surfaces in the systems have multiple coatings on all of the surfaces. So that's what that means. Get my mouse working again. There we go. Now let's talk about Barlow's just for a moment. And this is an important topic, especially if you're buying eyepieces and you're trying to save money, but you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, I guess is the big term in astronomy. So while the Barlow is not strictly an eyepiece, an enormously valuable accessory it is. A Barlow is inserted in the telescope's focuser before the eyepiece and doubles or triples, and sometimes even 5 times the magnification of the eyepiece that's in the Barlow. So at the expense of a small loss of light, because again, when you start putting light, glass over glass over glass, you will lose some light. But this very useful device can double your eyepiece investment by making each perform at 2 powers. So give some thought to the staggering that the focal lengths, so that they are not simple multiples of one and another. So in other words, if you have a 10mm eyepiece and you have a 20mm eyepiece, the Barlow is not going to do you any good on the 10, right? Because you've already got a 20mm. If you put a 10mm eyepiece into or a 20mm eyepiece, sorry, into a Barlow, it becomes a 10. I know that sounds funny. You think it with times 2, but magnification works in the opposite. So, but in any event, if you had a Barlow and you had 3 eyepieces, well, in actual fact, you now have 6 eyepieces. If the Barlow eyepiece is different than anything else that you already have. So if I had a 10mm and I had a 17mm and I had 28mm, well, none of those are going to be Barlow where they're going to be the same strength again by taking one of those eyepieces, putting them in the Barlow times by 2 and gives me the same value of another eyepiece I already have. So when you buy your eyepieces, just think if it was 2 times, would one of these eyepieces be doubled if I had a Barlow? If it's not, then go ahead and get a Barlow, because then each of those eyepieces now has 2 magnification strengths. So it's like having 6 eyepieces instead of 3. So that's the advantage of a Barlow. There are Barlows, and then there are power mates, and there's different levels of Barlows and different quality levels, and certainly different price points in Barlows. So I wanted to mention the Barlow lens. So for example, Barlows save you money. So used with a 2 times Barlow, your 40mm eyepiece effectively becomes a 20. See how that goes backwards instead of forwards? In a telescope with 1,000 millimeter focal length, the 40 millimeter eyepiece yields 25 times magnification alone, and 50 times magnification when used with a 2 times Barlow. A 10 millimeter eyepiece yields 100 times magnification alone and 200 times with a Barlow. So a Barlow lens essentially doubles the number of eyepieces in your collection, which is obviously a great money saving strategy. And also, if you're thinking about imaging the planets, never mind the moon or the sun, but all the planets, they are tiny. And if you want to get a really good look at them, even if you're using a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope that'll give you 2,000 millimeters, you pop a Barlow on that, and then you're getting into resolution. So a Barlow is really good, not only for observing, but it's extremely good for imaging planets. So that's what I want to show you there on that screen set. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you one other thing. If I figure out where the stop sharing button is on this, there it is. Okay. So Chris, if you could make my screen a little larger, I'm going to turn off my background.
Forget how we did this last time. Spotlight for everyone. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That works.
Perfect.
There we go.
Let me just turn off my virtual background so that you can see what I'm going to show you. Otherwise, it would keep disappearing in the abyss. None. There we go. Okay. So so when you look into the eyepiece, I'm just going to show you one here for example. So this is a Plössl. So when you look into an eyepiece, you're going to see that there's a black ring there. So when you look into an eyepiece, you notice that the image is round and it's framed by a black ring, this thing right here. That ring is called a field stop. And it's actually a round piece of metal or plastic. And the eyepiece, inside the eyepiece, which is right here, or if you got a protector on your eyepiece, like you do on this one, right there. But it's inside that, it's inside that eyepiece. So, so its function is to limit the image to the size where the image quality of that eyepiece is acceptable. And what that simply means is anything that you see there in that, I'm trying to find my camera, in that black area up to that ring, that wide ring that you see there, if I was to take that ring off thinking I'm going to get myself a wider field of view, I won't, because where that field stop stops, that's where the quality of the eyepiece coming from the center of the glass out stops. Once you get beyond that, you're not going to see anything. You're going to get aberrations. You're going to get funny looking colors and all that kind of stuff, because the usual portion of that glass is only within the circle that you see with the field stop on it. So that's why there's a field stop on those pieces of glass, because they need a certain amount of housing in there to hold them, but there's only a certain amount of usable surface that your eye looks through. So if you want to remove the field stop, the image outside it would start to look bad and the edges would be fuzzy and barely usable. Also, most people prefer a neat sharp edge to the field of view anyway, so the aesthetic element is also there to consider. So the size of the field stop is given by two parameters, and the focal length of the eyepiece measured in millimeters. So this one here, for example, is, I don't know if you can see that because of the glare of my light, but anyway, that one's 20 millimeter Plössl. So that's the focal length of it. And the apparent field of view of the eyepiece itself. Now, some eyepieces will tell you what the field of view is on them, and some eyepieces won't. Just a sec, let me get that on my face. There we go, now I can see. So the longer focal length eyepieces will actually have bigger field stops. See if I can move this over. I don't know if I can, if I can't. No, I can, but yeah, you can see that, right? Okay, never mind. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying to get this, make this a little more comfortable for me. Okay, so when you stick to when you stick to a short focal length eyepieces with a narrow field of view, the required field stop is pretty small, and it can easily fit into a 1 1/4 inch barrel. So basically, what you're seeing here is a 1 1/4 inch barrel. So the field stop that this one requires that the glass that you can see through doesn't require anything larger than this. So a 1 1/4 inch eyepiece is absolutely fine for that field of view. And I think Mike and I were talking, and this one's around 40 or 50, I think 50-degree field of view on this one. So when you move into something that's got a much larger field of view, so here I have a 32 millimeter, and you would think, hold it now, that's 32 millimeters, that's 20 millimeters, but that's the focal length. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the field of view. In other words, what your eye is going to look through, right? So this one here, you can see, first of all, is considerably larger than what this one is. And the reason being is because this field of view on this particular eyepiece is 70 degrees. So it's a 70-degree field of view eyepiece. Because it's 70 degrees, the mechanics to make this eyepiece, make the glass in the eyepiece, it has to be spread over a certain area, which cannot be accommodated by a 1 1/4 inch size. So sometimes it's not a matter, is a 1 1/4 inch better or is a 2 inch better? It's not so much that. What you have to consider is, what is the field of view, and can this eyepiece, can I get a 70-degree field of view in a 1 1/4 inch eyepiece? I might be able to adapt it on the end to stick it in a 1 1/4 inch hole, but the actual field of view and the kind of glass and what has to be housed in that glass has to be in a 2 inch body. And in fact, now they're talking about building eyepieces that will take 3 inches, because now, you know, you can get, I don't know what the largest field of view is now, but it's well over 100 degrees. So but in order to get 100 degrees, you have to have a really wide piece of glass. So in order to accommodate that, you need a wider thing. So I'm not going to get into the rest of that, the note on that, because the principle is that if you want a really high-end wide field view, you will have to buy a 2 inch eyepiece to get it. If you're okay with not so wide field, but you can get up to 68 degrees on a 1 1/4 inch eyepiece, you know, you can buy something very nice for that. But keep in mind that having that larger window is always nice. It's a treat. So anyway, so to answer that question, is one better than the other? One may be better. One may be better for the type of scope that you're using based on the accommodation that you have, because not all telescopes have 1 1/4 and 2 inch focusers. So that's something else that you have to consider when you're buying your telescope. If I want to get into 2 inch eyepieces, does my telescope have the ability to house a 2 inch eyepiece rather than just a 1 1/4? So other than that, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover on eyepieces. Hopefully that's enough information to at least get you started and get you thinking about eyepieces and what they mean. You know, what scopes will work well with what kind of eyepieces, and what kind of viewing is it that I want to do. So that's my talk.
Awesome, Paul. Thanks. It can be a very
I think.
oh, here we go. Get you back. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It can be a very lengthy
Daunting.
discussion. Yeah.
Very daunting task to pick out your eyepieces.
Very daunting task, yeah. And I mean, they can go from $20, like Paul says, up to, like, say, $700, $1,000, I think, for some of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, where do you start? What do you buy? So that information that Paul's provided now gives you a great start to decide what do you want to see. Like Mike likes wide field view. I'd like wide field views now as well, since Mike got me onto it. But if you're looking at a planet or something like that, you might want something that's a very narrow field of views, because you want a lot more magnification. Kevin's asking any suggestions on cleaning eyepieces. Well, we could do a talk on that, Kevin, for sure. We'd probably have to do a discussion on that. But go ahead, Paul.
I can tell you something real quick.
Okay.
Anything
Yeah.
that Mike, you can just lift them and wash them if you want. The guy from Teleview takes a $700 eyepiece, licks it and wipes it, and away he goes. I'm not suggesting that you do that, but if you want to, you can. But the best thing to do is just keep in your pocket or in your arsenal of gear, like where you keep your eyepieces, the same thing that you would use to clean your eyeglasses, you can use to clean this. So just go to your optical store and say, oh, I forgot my glass cleaner. Can you give me one? They'll probably give you one anyway for free, and a cloth. And then you can use that to clean your eyepieces very, very well.
Yeah, always good to try to blow off the dirt first, though, I guess, right, too, as well.
Yeah,
Before you-
yeah,
before you-
yeah. You have a little blower. If you don't have a blower, you can get those little cans but don't
Yeah.
blow it with your lips.
Yeah,
Because you're not going to move a lot with that. Plus, you're gonna put a lot of things from your mouth on there that you don't want.
spit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever else is in it.
Okay. Zers had a different question here. What do you recommend on an eyepiece to view a comet? I guess it would all really kind of depend on what kind of a scope you had, and
Well, I don't know if I want to look at a comet. I don't know how much detail you're going to see, because typically you see a little snowballish, if it's blue or green tint to it, whatever the case being. But if you want to get a really close look at it, I mean, just try a couple of different eyepieces for sure.
yeah,
If you're imaging it, it's a whole different game. But to just observe it, I would get as close as I could. If it has a tail, then I would like to have something that I can see the tail as well. So that would be a wider field of view, depending on how much space that is taking up in
Yep.
space.
awesome. Thank you. Okay. So that's a start for you anyway. Any questions, you can always get a hold of Paul 24 hours a day, 24/7. Okay, how about a Bino Bud next?
I know, bud.
Bye.
All right, we should have a binocular target of the week popping up on our screen.
We do.
So binocular target of the week this week by Bino Bud is the cosmic question mark. Da-da-da-da. So this is a pretty big asterism in the shape of a mirrored question mark. It's best visible through finder scopes, binoculars, or small telescopes with low magnification. There are 5 stars that form the C2's head. I take the lowest star and the star at the most right and draw a line between these two, and you can find the question mark. Okay, it's left of this line and apparently about 2/3 from the lowest star, if any of that makes sense. If not, I'll show you. So it's that time now of the year when our fall constellations are coming up. There's the Pleiades and Taurus. And if you come across from Taurus, there's the head of C2s. And what we were talking about was this star here and this star here. You draw a line between the two, and about 2/3 of the way down, guess what? There's a question mark right in there. So that comes up now about 10 o'clock at night. I know 9 o'clock at night is what I got here, but that's what we saw at the beach last night around 10 o'clock. If I zoom into the head and you look at those 2 stars again this is just the head of C2s. You come down, there it is there. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't stand out as a question mark. That's pretty cool. And again, this is what you're going to see. So it's a large target, very easy to see. Okay, you'll pick it out against the background stars, no problem. And 10 by 50 binoculars, look at this. That is your question mark.
Wow.
It's actually larger than the coat hanger. So
Yeah.
pretty easy to spot, pretty cool when you see it. You go, wow, that really is a question mark. Compared to the full moon, look at this, at least 3 full moons, if not 4 in size. So it's a good size target, easy to find. And when you see it, you'll know it. If not, you have a big question mark in your head. Yeah, meanwhile on Mars.
Meanwhile, on Mars.
It kind of looks like that now, it's a
I
boat.
love it.
Yeah.
And that's Binocular Target of the Week by Bino Bud.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. The only planet inhabited completely by robots.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. We're gonna go from that maybe to what's up talk next. What's up talk?
What's up?
Back.
Talk. Okay. Let's see if I can get this up and running.
Need some What's Up Doc music.
Yeah. Okay. So we can get this from the beginning. Now what we got? I think we're up there.
Yep.
Yep, there it
Okay.
is.
All right. Good. All right. So what's up this week? Let's pick off a few things. Okay. First of all, on Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Yes, it is. Tuesday, November 1st, we have the first quarter moon. Our moon is at first quarter on Tuesday. The perfect time to glance along that line that separates day and night on the moon, that one we call the Terminator right there, with the long shadows craters and mountain ranges reveal much more detail when it's at this phase. No matter where you are on the Earth, though, the first quarter moon is at its highest at sunset. Now, a telescope is not required to enjoy the features. You can actually enjoy many of the features with just binoculars. Also on Tuesday, we mentioned the first quarter moon. Well, it's actually near Saturn on Tuesday. So look on Tuesday evening, look for the first quarter moon as it greets the ring beauty Saturn. Saturn and our moon will be approximately 4 degrees apart, making them easily fit together in the field of view of most binoculars. So nice binocular view there, nice small telescope view as well. You should be able to get the two of them in there. Also on Tuesday, we've got a little transit, a few of these to talk about. Io is going to transit across the face of Jupiter. And the times here are 2037 to 2255 for the transit of the planet or the moon itself passing across Jupiter. And its shadow is between 2130 and 2343. So if you wait long enough, I guess I'm sure that the shadow will pass over the top of the Great Red Spot as well. So you should be able to catch that one. You might not catch the moon. Maybe Damien Peach could probably catch the moon with his amazing images, but we should be able to catch the shadow passing over in front of the Great Red Spot. That's on Tuesday. Also, Wednesday, here's another nice one, though. This is a double shadow transit. These are a little bit more rare. So on Wednesday evening, we may be able to witness the double shadow transit on the face of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's moons Europa and Ganymede will both cast their shadows back onto the giant world. Times are listed here in the image. So Europa transits across from 1745 to 2017, and its shadow follows behind from 1930 to 2200. And Ganymede's transit from 1740, which of course we're not going to see because it's still daylight then, till 2038. And its shadow, though, we'll get the view of that from 2122, 922, right through till after midnight. So right around 10 p.m., we should be able to see Europa's shadow leaving and Ganymede's entering. So it'll be just about like that, around 10. So nice view, nice capture. I know a lot of people have been capturing Jupiter lately, so take a look on Wednesday night if you got clear skies. Also Wednesday night, lunar straight wall. Wednesday evening, the sun illuminates a particular feature on the moon. That's because the sun is coming from this direction. At about day 8 of the moon's orbit, the Rupus Recta, it's called, or the lunar straight wall, casts a wide shadow that gives it the appearance of a steep cliff. Now, the fault line, though, is actually a length of 110 kilometers and a typical width of 2 to 3 kilometers wide here, and a height of 240 to 300 meters. Thus, although it appears to be a vertical cliff in the lunar surface, in actuality, the grade of the slope is relatively shallow. Actually, if you're walking down it, you wouldn't even know that you're passing down through a slope. Like the Lunar X and Lunar V, more tricks of sunlight and shadows, identifying special features of the moon happening throughout the lunar cycle. Always something interesting to see on our celestial neighbor. And on Friday night, the moon visits Jupiter. Watch Friday evening as a waxing gibbous moon as it greets the giant planet Jupiter. The second and fourth brightest objects in our night sky will be less than 3 degrees apart and will easily fit together in the field of view of most binoculars. And let's go back here to the rest of the week with the zodiacal light. So zodiacal light now is a cone of eerie light above the sunrise or sunset point on the horizon. We've talked about this a couple of weeks now. You'll see it before morning dawn breaks. In this case, for us, if you're in the northern hemisphere, the weeks around September equinox are your best, but we're still actually in that phase, and we should still be able to catch it for the next week or so. It appears in the sky just before true dawn lights the sky. The darker your sky, the better chances of seeing the zodiacal light. Now, the moon has moved into the evening sky now, so there should be opportunities to catch the zodiacal light in the early morning before sunrise. And what you're looking for is this big cone of eerie light here, which is actually all the dust in the solar system. Sunlight bouncing off the dust particles in the solar system. I'm going to go ahead here to the ISS visible passes. We got a few nice passes this week, although they're all in the morning. We can see with the magnitude, the lower the number, the brighter the pass will be. So at a minus 2.6, it's fairly bright. We've got another one at minus 3.4, minus 3.8, 3.6. So these are all throughout the week. You can get that information from courtesy of heavens-above.com. This is the chart for St. John. Also, I've been looking at watching things a little bit closely is this page for comets. On that same website, you can look up comets. Now, there has been a lot of talk about this particular one, C22 2022 E3 ZTF. They have different names because of that's the telescope that discovered it. So same as like NEOWISE was there a few years ago. The brightness right now is only at 10.1, which means that it's not very bright. You need a telescope to see it, but they are expecting it to become naked eye, which would be about a magnitude 4. So it's got to improve a whole lot in the next while. But the good thing about it is that it's going to be in our northern part of our sky. So here it is in January. So in I think it's on the January the 1st, I believe. It's at its closest approach to the sun, perihelion, and then it approaches us, our closest approach, around the 5th of February. So here we are here's the Big Dipper, or Ursa Major, Little Dipper up here, so we can see where we are. So it's going to pass right between the Little and Big Dipper, down through into January into February. So in this part of the sky, when we're around here, we should be at its brightest. So it should be pretty easy to pick out, and it'll be up all night long too. So you won't have to wait for it to rise. It'll be up all night. So that's the one to watch for. I don't know. I mean, comets are very unpredictable. We can hope that we can see a bright object. We were surprised a couple of years ago, but maybe this one will materialize. They were predicting originally it was going to be around a magnitude 8, then it moved to a 6, and now they're saying maybe a 4, which is the smaller the number, the brighter it's going to be. So it might be naked eye. It should be binocular view though, for sure, or a small telescope. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. I'll keep you informed as it approaches. And hey, all back to daylight savings time ends. Okay, it's on Sunday. Now our semi-annual ritual is back next weekend with the ending of daylight savings time and a return to standard time. Now for those who enjoy this hobby, that adds an extra hour of darkness to your evening. Hooray! Allowing you to observe and still be ready for bedtime early. Yay! And for those who detest the switch, become an amateur astronomer. That's all I can tell you. I also like to draw attention to Lisa's lookup, Astronomy and More. Lisa had provided me with her November chart. She lists all the major events that are coming up in November, celestial events, and here are the dates that they're going to take place. We have the peak times and also your seeing tools, whether you need naked eye, binoculars, or a telescope to view them. She kind of highlighted the lunar eclipse coming up here. So that is going to be the next large celestial event for us. I'm going to be live on YouTube on that particular day, as long as the sky gods cooperate. It actually starts about 4 a.m. here for us in St. John, but that's the penumbral eclipse, which means it's an eclipse that's it's not really noticeable. The penumbral is very difficult to pick out because you get a really bright moon and you have just a little bit less bright moon. But when it starts to pass into the umbral phase, that's when we're really passing into the darker part of our shadow we cast back out into space. And that's going to give our moon that nice reddish orange hue that we see. And we'll catch the maximum eclipse for us is around 6:59. So this is an hour, yes, Eastern time. So 6:59 for us. And it actually sets though, right around 7:20 for us. So the moon will be eclipsed while it's setting. So that's a bit of a rare thing as well. So I'm hoping for the best. I won't be here on Facebook with it. I'll be on YouTube. The reason why I chose YouTube is because we do have some Instagram followers as well, and they can all get over to YouTube. Everybody can get to YouTube, but not everybody is on Facebook. And I can only stream on one platform when I am remote. I expect to be remote offering this. I can't get it from my home. So I'll probably be at Saints Rest Beach, somewhere in that vicinity, trying to catch it because it'll be low at the horizon too as well. So I'll be out locally, and I can only accept data from one channel coming back. So we're going to try YouTube. And I have that event already posted on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go click on notifications there, you can see the schedule coming. And here we have the October-November calendar. We're getting to the end of this calendar for fairly soon. Well, another couple of weeks. This is put out by the St. John Astronomy Club and also the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, the Brunswick chapter. Here we list all the events that are available throughout this week coming up. And our switch to standard time again is on November the 6th. Here's our lunar eclipse coming up on the 8th. And you can actually get this calendar. If you go to sjastronomy.ca, you'll see the calendar posted there almost at the top of the page, monthly calendar. So help yourself to get that. Now, this came in from Kevin Clover. He's not here tonight, Kevin. He said, so excited for giving out healthy candy this year. Hope the kids enjoy them.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts?
Chocolate covered.
Yeah, chocolate covered. They won't know the difference. Anyway,
Surprise.
Surprise. That's our talk for what's up this week. Okay. I'm going to go here. That one. And what do we got next? We have Rosanna. Rosanna's fun facts.
Yeah.
Rosanna.
Okay, one sent on. Did I get this up and running?
Daylight savings time ended today here in the UK. Oh, Paul says.
Can you unpin, Chris? Because as you speak, you go big and I can't find what I need to share my screen.
Unpin?
Oh, just a second. Let me try this. Never mind. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into, see if I can share my screen first and see if we can't get started with this week's.
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Well, welcome back, Rosanna, for another great fun fact for this week. Anyway, well, let's just get right into it. Rosanna says, hi, Paul. There's an old acronym that was popular in the 1970s that was actually partly seen in use as early as 1938. The KISS, keep it simple, stupid. This KISS was adopted in 1960 by the U.S. Navy. The KISS principle states that most systems work best if they are kept simple rather than made complicated. A logical thought. Therefore, simplicity should be a key goal in design, and unnecessary complexity should be avoided. The rather churlish word stupid has been replaced by super simple, simple or sweet, simple and straightforward. Keep it simple, sailor or sweetie, and so on. The KISS principle can be applied to telescopes, and indeed it has been applied in a relative way to this particular telescope in India. The past summer, the new International Liquid Mercury Telescope became operational. The ILMT uses a rotating pan of liquid mercury as its primary mirror, not a solid sheet of polished glass. The ILMT is the first telescope of its kind for India, the largest in Asia, and made solely for astronomical surveys. But the idea of a liquid mirror is not new. Liquid mirrors have been long but mixed record in astronomy. Over 300 years ago, Isaac Newton noted that a liquid in a rotating container would take on the shape of a parabola, precisely the shape needed by a telescope mirror to focus the light into a single point. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see it. So here's a parabola basis. Parabolas have a line of symmetry. The line of symmetry of a parabola divides the parabola into two equal halves that are reflections of each other. About the line of symmetry, it intersects at a parabola at its vertex, and that's why you might have, if you ever buy a telescope, you might have heard a mirror that's parabolic. This is exactly what they're talking about. So any of those of you who like kitchen experiments, me, with or without kids, there is a quick and easy 1 minute and 44 video to spin the water into a parabola. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to, can I show it? Yeah, I can show you on the screen. there it is there. If you can grab that, it's https:// utu.be, not YouTube, put the dot in there, / big B, little g, big F, little I, 09, big G, small c, K9A. And anyway, you can go on there and you can actually see this demonstration. It's pretty cool. Eventually, LMTs took a back seat as the solid mirror technology advanced. The LMTs were plagued by vibrations, and basically the idea was shelved. Then in the 1980s, scientists began to resurrect the theory, addressing its limitations with modern technology. From 1994 to 2002, NASA operated a 3-meter LMT to scan the Earth's orbits for debris. Later, the University of British Columbia reused some parts of NASA's LMT to construct the 6-meter Large Zenith Telescope, the largest of its kind. However, the weather at its site was not ideal for astronomy, and it was decommissioned back in 2016. So it's a pretty awesome view from the UBC's Mercury telescope on a relatively clear sky. I'll show you that. So these are the kind of views you can get from those Mercury-based telescopes.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing, really. So today, the concept may be posed for a mainstream resurgence. In 1997, a consortium of astronomers interested in the 4-meter wide ILMT was formed, but construction took almost 25 years due to the liquid requirements and other delays, says Jean Sertija, ILMT's project director. India, Belgium, Canada, Poland, and Uzbekistan did the work of telescope construction, and here it is. So this is what they actually built right there. So the ILMT uses shiny mercury in liquid form to collect and focus light. Mercury has strong reflective power and stays in a liquid form at room temperature. And it's much cheaper than highly prized glass mirrors. Grinding mirrors into a parabolic shape is an arduous and expensive task. The total cost of the ILMT comes in at $2 million, while a conventional solid mirror telescope of its size could reach hundreds of millions of dollars. So because the shape of a liquid mirror telescope depends on gravity, it can only point straight up at the zenith of the sky. However, this is not as much a disadvantage as it might first appear, as the zenith slews across the sky with Earth's rotation. Over the year, the telescope could observe nearly 120 square degrees of sky, 600 times the area of the full moon. So this area corresponds to about 1% of the entire sky and is large enough to contain thousands of intersecting objects, explains Hickson, an astronomer at the University of BC. Now here is one of its latest views. And when it does discover objects, the steerable $18 million, 3.6 meter Davisat optical telescope next door will be able to take a quick follow-up observation. Now, if ILMT is a success, and so far so good, there are hopes and plans by many for the technology to be scaled up to build much larger liquid mirrors on the moon, an attractive location because it's less seismically active than Earth and has no atmosphere. So a technological cycle has taken a theory from some complex and back to simpler again and the most cost-effective. A bizarre detail that surfaced while surfing is KISS NB. Keep It Simple Solutions, New Brunswick. Founded in 2017, it has a political party registered in the province of New Brunswick, Canada, and they have been deregistered in 2018 and re-registered in 2020. I'm not sure if they will make it into the next election, but here's the last post I could find by Keep It Simple Solution, and here it is. So, are we overthinking this? Oh my gosh, and that is this week's, where is she?
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Hey.
And as usual, an absolutely fun fact it is.
Hmm.
And I didn't know about these Mercury mirrors.
Yeah, they're fascinating. There's one at Vancouver, I think, as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just a spinning disk of Mercury. It's unbelievable that.
Yeah, but because of the way that it spins, it creates the shape. They can contain it in the shape
Yeah.
they need, and it's
Yeah.
so reflective. I mean, you've seen the images. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. And yeah, like you say, it can only look straight up, but I mean, still, it's covering a patch of sky that,
Well, the
that
sky
can be
moves
covered.
anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's going to start in the east and go to the west, and we
Yep.
see a whole variety of that all year long. So it sees all kinds of sky.
I'd be wanting to stick my finger in like that and go, look what I found.
Just don't,
Time warp. Time warp.
don't build one at the North Pole.
Yeah. On the moon, though, would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, I suppose, because in
Yeah.
a vacuum. But yeah, try to maintain it, though, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Rosanna. An awesome fun fact as usual.
Cool.
Awesome. Yes.
I
Don't
like the
touch the
cat
mirror
scare.
and lick your fingers. There we go. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Rosanna, for that as well. Yes. Lunar Challenge may be next.
Lunar challenge.
What do we got, Mike?
I think it's this screen. We'll
How do they
find
keep it
out.
at room? How do they keep it at room temp? Probably, yeah. That's a good question. And maybe it's they must keep the room itself heated, I guess.
Well, that I'm assuming that they could have a way of temperature, keeping the temperature, stable within the liquid itself. There's probably some form of heating.
Yeah, there might be inside the liquid, right, in the plate.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's a good question.
We'll figure it out for next time.
Okay.
All right. Binocular Moon Crater Challenge. Not to do this twice. Last week's, for the second time, was the challenge to go out and find Eratosthenes. And there it be, right there on the moon. You come down here, there's Tycho down in this area. And like Chris said, with the first quarter coming up, you get the nice Terminator line, and it stands right out, right in that area right there. So that was last week's target. This week's is Ptolemus. So Ptolemus, I think I pronounced that right. Ptolemus.
Ptolemaios.
Ancient, what's that?
Ptolemaios.
Moose, maze? Okay.
Ptolemaios, I guess the P's silent.
So like PFO, silent P.
Right.
So it's an ancient lunar impact crater close to the center of the near side, what we call the near side, named after Claudius Ptolemy, the Greco-Roman writer, mathematician, astronomer, geographer, and astrologer. Boy, this guy was a busy dude.
Wow.
It measures approximately 154 kilometers in diameter with a depth of 2.4 kilometers. The rim has a discernibly polygon shape, actually, although overall it still remains kind of circular. The feature of Ptolemais is highlighted when the sun is low or at low angles during the first and last quarters. At the full moon, the sun is directly overhead, so there's a hint right there as to where it might be. And the center of the crater contours become more difficult to discern, but there is lots of detail inside that crater when the sun is hitting it from either side. So there is our challenge of the week, and there's the crater there, Ptolemais. And let's see if we can find it, because it's coming up good time for that.
Awesome.
And that's
Awesome.
my challenge of the week.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
It's a great one.
Challenge indeed.
Okay, how about we get to some photos next? And I'll see if I can bring them up here.
There's a point. Mike says you can't get those mirrors. You can't scratch them or get them dirty because they're liquid.
Right? Good point. Okay, I just need to have these here. Just need one more screen and I don't have it.
Come on over and loan you one.
Okay. No, it's not going there. Bear with me.
Pairing.
Okay, there's that.
All the way to Rosanna.
Should be able to get these. Let's bring these down here. Okay, I think we're ready. I'm going to share my screen here. This one. Screen one. Okay. Okay, we should have an image up there.
We do.
Okay,
Ladies.
so this is
Very nice.
from David Hoskin. David says Messier 45, the Seven Sisters, is the second image that he captured after the SCL barbecue on Saturday. Total integration time 48 minutes. 24 2-minute unguided exposure settings. Red Cat 51, ASI 183 MC, and IEXOS-100. I'm not sure what that is. You guys probably know that one.
I know the red cat. They're nice little scope.
Beautiful shot though.
Nice, yeah.
Very nice.
Let me see if I can minimize that one. Still have the con. Yes, I can. Good. All right. Let's keep going. Next one up is this one also from David. He says, I captured this image of Messier 16, the Eagle Nebula. I am pleased with the results, given a total integration time of just less than 1 hour. 26 2-minute unguided exposures.
There you go.
There you
Very
go.
nice. Yes,
Very
sir.
nice. Yeah.
Now,
job.
is the pillars in here? Is that where the pillars are?
Right down below, Chris. You see the big cluster in the center?
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, you see that shady area just?
Oh, right here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Go up to the cluster. Go up to the
Up to the
cluster.
cluster,
Now
yeah.
drop down to your left about 7 o'clock. You're going to see it shaded up a little bit. You're going to see it right there. There you go.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah, that's where the pillars are.
That little spot. Yeah, there it is.
Here.
Okay.
Yep.
Ah, cool. All right. Thank you for those.
Beautiful shot.
We're going to go from there to Matthew Dupre.
Oh, nice.
Here,
Oh,
this,
Barnard's Loop.
he said this is his submission for the week. Took this shot of Orion this past week, about 45 minutes worth of exposure stacking. Did I get the right shot there? Yes, I do, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Ryan.
Yep. 45 seconds subs, ISO 1600 on a Canon T3 and 50mm lens, all on a star tracker.
Well done.
Nice
Nice shot.
Matt.
You got a lot of stuff.
Bernard's loop stands right out there, eh?
Mm.
Wow.
You got the witch's head down there.
Down the corner, yeah. Bottom,
Down-
the other
down
side.
by Rigel.
On this side. This
No,
side.
the
Oh,
right
the other side.
Oh, the other side.
Right down the bottom, right where that blue star is.
Yeah.
Right where Rigel is. That's where the witch's head is. Anyway, there, and then you got Orion, you got the Running Man, you got
Got the horse head.
Horse head, you got the Flame, you got
Yeah.
Barnard's Loop.
Covers it all in one shot.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Wow.
3 stars there. Make it
Very
go.
nice.
Awesome. Well done, Matthew.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that. And this crescent moon shot.
Oh, love it.
Oh, that's nice.
Beautiful sunset.
Thank you for those. Okay. Let's move on then to Mr. Robert Gadet. He says, please see attached picture.
Thanks, Robert.
No problem.
That's
I like
awesome.
that one. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well done. Nice shot too.
You see the
Is it-
building right beside it? Just like you
Yeah,
started
yeah.
time? We've been on the moon for a long time, man.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
No doubt. No problem. He says the equipment, a Meade LX 200 8-inch telescope, a Celestron XYZ adapter, cell phone camera on a pro mode, and zoomed in a bit.
See, now that would be a good crate to fill with mercury and make a telescope on
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
it.
That'd be a good size one. You just have to. How do you rotate it? That's the problem, Mike.
Oh, spin the
You
moon.
can spin it.
I guess.
F1.8 ISO 300, 1/120th of a second exposure.
Well done.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Robert.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. There we go.
Okay, and Bridget Green says, "Hi, Chris. Well, I'm giving this a shot." She said, "This photo is one I took, but not of this week's several-day-old moon. I believe I managed to capture Eratosthenes. Fingers crossed. Yes, you did. She's got
Fingers
it.
are crossed. Love those Apennine Mountains.
Good job, Bridget. Thank you."
Very nice.
Okay, we're going to go from there to David Smart.
Hey, David.
Hey, David. Yeah,
Hey, now you're getting there.
here he is. Yeah. October
look
the
at that.
28th, he says, October 28th, Jupiter was taken with a 6-inch SET camera. Camera was a 462 ZWO, 5,000 frames processed with PIP and astro capture. You should still need to learn on the process, but it was a nice night to be out.
You're getting there.
Yep,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Look at the bands. Beautiful.
Yeah,
yep.
really nice. And he's got this one of Saturn.
Awesome. Awesome.
Said, condition for me was very nice. Picture was taken with a Celestron 6-inch again, ZWO 462, processed with astro capture. It was 7,000 frames. It took 45% for that picture.
Yes,
Very
sir.
nice.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
6-inch scope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, David.
Well done.
Okay, we got these from Carol Bean.
Oh, I love it.
So this is last night, I guess. The night before, sorry. The evening's crescent moon by the lighthouse in St. Stephen at sunset.
Just a sliver.
There it is right there, yeah. Just a sliver.
Very nice.
And this one she says later after dark.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done, Carol.
Yeah.
And last night's crescent moon here as well.
Another nice shot.
Mm,
Beautiful.
Very well done.
Yeah. Very good.
That was a pretty moon last night.
It was. This one's from Zurich Second Seas. His pick is from the DTLA, Downey, California. He said, if you're a Libra, other than your ruling planet Venus, you can add this to your chart. Libra waxing crescent moon, direction east.
There you go.
There you go.
Very nice.
He's on here tonight on Facebook. Excuse me. Nice, thanks.
Yeah. Good job.
I had put a post up with a crescent moon in it, I think, and Kathy Graham sent these ones in, taken the other night from Fort Howe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hauled it in there.
Wow.
There you go.
Here it is. Yeah.
Right up Main Street.
Excuse me. Thank you, Kathy.
Very nice.
Have I got that one in the right order? Hang on now. You see what's next. No, that's not. Who's this one? They're a little mixed up. This is Digger. Randy Stevens sent this one in.
Yes, sir.
It was white and high in the sky. Said not even an hour later, it moved so fast it dropped and turned orange.
This is true. It did.
Does happen fast. Okay.
Nice shot.
Just bear with me just for a second here. I'm gonna try to get these rearranged. Just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. Just want to get my notes here in the right spot. Okay, that goes down. That one goes down here a little bit farther. 1 second. Here, I think it's down in here. Yep, right here. Okay. We'll add those in there and we'll go back to where we were. Okay. I mean, just talking amongst yourself here.
All caught up.
Amongst myself, yeah. Talking amongst myself. Okay, we're gonna go from there to Brad Perry.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
A couple
nice.
of photos, yeah. Good
It looks
timing,
chilly on that canoe, though.
Sure does.
Nice
It sure
shot.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of photos here from Thursday evening, one of the crescent moon as it was setting, and the other of the Milky Way with some air glow. Look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
Very nice. Yes, sir.
Very nice shot.
He's
Long
got some.
exposure to lakes, just absolutely smooth there.
Mm.
Yeah. Looks like ice.
Yeah.
So both were taken in the Dungarvan region of the province where there are nice Bortle 2 skies and no cell phone service. Perfect.
Wow. Nice shot.
Good stuff, Brad. Thanks for those.
Yeah.
The stars in there. Gee.
Yeah. Incredible. Prancing Pony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go from there to Kathy Adams.
Kathy.
These ones, yep. These are Kathy's shots for the week. Jupiter last night, she said scene was below average, but nice sitting out on the porch imaging and watching with my coffee. And who knows how many critters want on the porch too. The 2-minute capture in Sharp Cap, then Auto Stacker, Astro Surface, and Photoshop. Better seeing nights will get here eventually, but too nice not to go out for sure, Kathy.
She's got the critter in down there.
Yes, she does. Well done, Kathy.
Yeah, very nice. Nice. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and there's our Saturn shot.
That was love Saturn.
Yeah. Saturn tonight, she's below average seeing, but I was able to salvage a couple of captures. I'd say you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think.
Vision in there. Yeah. Beautiful. And
Very
her
nice.
Mars capture.
And Mars, yeah, she's been getting some nice shots of Mars.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Mars tonight, the scene was below average. Shot almost 3,000 frames, best 15%. Sharp cap, astrosurface, and Photoshop. Yeah, Mars is a tough target to get any detail with, for sure. But now we're getting closer to opposition, so it should be getting a bit easier for those who do capture it.
Yeah, it's getting nice and high in the sky at early morning.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now we got these ones from Chris Benoit. Chris says,
yes.
my first ever
Vale.
Eastern Vale, he says. Proud? Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Well done.
Canon modified.
I remember when we were up in Funday, and I was just starting in astrophotography, and Chris and I were spending some time looking at trying to figure out Photoshop, and I shot the swan, first time ever, and it looked very similar to this, and I was just as proud as Peach, and so I know exactly where Chris is coming from, and that's a really great start.
Yeah,
That's
good
fantastic.
stuff.
Right on.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Chris. Keep up the good work.
Yep. Good job.
That pops up on the screen, man. There's no feeling like it, is there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
it.
Exactly. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, we're gonna go here. Last night and this morning, fun with Canon, $75 modified camera, 1 minute exposure time, no biases, no darks. Horsehead Nebula,
Yes, sir.
Orion Nebula, and Dual Omega and Eagle. We're gonna see those in a second.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the tack right there, and the flame.
Yeah, there's the
Beautiful.
Horsehead.
Yep.
Good stuff.
There you go.
There's Orion.
That's
Oh,
that time of
yeah.
year.
It is. It's that time of year. That's right.
Yeah.
And here's this Omega and Eagle.
There it is.
Nebula.
There it
Yes,
is.
sir.
Yep, you got it.
Nice.
Nice. Really great. Must be
Good stuff,
thrilled
Chris.
you got those.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, I got Paul Crowder here. Paul says, hi, Chris, and greetings from the UK. My image of Mike's target of the crater,
Got her.
Eratosthenes. Here he is, right there. That's it. Of course,
Big dot in the center. Yeah,
Copernicus kind of helps out too, I suppose.
it does. Like I say, you follow the Apennine mountain range down.
Yeah, right down. Yeah. I was fortunate enough now you get this one as well. I was fortunate enough on the day of the partial solar eclipse
Oh,
to have the
nice.
opportunity to video the event. So I have attached a screenshot of the eclipse. Look at that.
Look at the
Sweet.
plane going
With the
through.
plane going through it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd be more excited about the plane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
That's
That's
great.
cool. Well done.
Great stuff. Great stuff, Paul. Now he sent me this one too. He says, hi, Chris, and greetings from the UK. Thought this may interest you. This letter is from Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first woman to go into space. Now, she wrote in support of Star Center, Hallam University, which I was a founding member of back in 1995. He said, now with Valentina's wonderful support, we obtained a grant to set up Star Center. The Star Center ran for 12 years, during which we did many observing events, including star parties and astro takeaways, which also included presentations on astronomy and space science. This was at a time before social media, of course, and it was our way of bringing the night sky and the wonders of the universe to members of the public and children. Fun times. he says.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. With great interest, I learned about the launch of the Star Center at Hallam University. Creation at the Center of National Computer Base of Information on Astronomy and Space Research will help broaden the sections of public, the young people and students to learn more and better understand the necessity of further development of space science and space research. Our planet is a component part of a limitless ocean, the universe, and learning the laws that govern its evolution in becoming a necessary condition for preserving life on Earth. The creation at the Star Center of systemized and open to all data of world achievements in space science and space research will help the international exchange of information in this field. I wish the Star Center's success in its work. Valentina
Nice piece of
Tereshkova. Yeah,
nostalgia.
very nice,
Very
nice,
nice
eh?
piece of nostalgia. Yeah. That's awesome.
Thanks for sharing that, Paul. Okay, and we're going to go to Mr. Mike Powell here with Messing with Bubbles.
Oh, that was a while ago, though. I was just fired that one up. That's something
Yeah.
by Cassiopeia.
Yeah. Well, we saw it on your page, so I grabbed
Nice.
it.
That jumps out there. It's a bubble, all right.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I think I
Wow.
have that one too.
There
And
you go. Now you're talking.
Mr.
fish.
Paul Owen. Now we're talking.
Right.
Now we're talking fish. Yeah. Give us a little bit of chat on this one, Paul.
Well, of course, that's the Fishhead Nebula, and that's actually the tip of the Heart Nebula. So if anybody's ever seen the Heart and Soul Nebula in Cassiopeia, this is the part of the heart that's a very long, elongated end, and it resembles, of course, a fish. So thus the name, the Fishhead Nebula. And this is actually IC 1795 is the actual name of it. And this one here is actually shot in narrowband. So I used hydrogen alpha, oxygen 3, and sulfur 2. And I've got about 10 hours of capture on that one, 6 hours in a hydrogen alpha and 2.5 hours each in oxygen 3 and O2, or oxygen, yeah, and S2 rather, sulfur 2. And I was playing, and I put this in at a very specific kind of palette, but the colors didn't turn out quite the way I wanted them to. So I thought I would just do a little experimenting and see what I could bring out of it. And I rather enjoy what I was able to come up with.
Come out fabulous, Paul.
There.
Yeah, it kind of really breaks the structure up into bite sizes. You can look around it and see all the variables that are in it. And,
I love down by the bottom there, your dark dust lanes down, way down.
Yeah, way down here.
Very nice.
yeah, if you
Down
look
in there where it's brown.
yeah,
That's incredible.
if you look up, Chris, point your stop right there, and then drop down to the edge of the screen, and then go to your left. There, come back just a tiny bit. Come back there. Look at that star cluster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's a huge cluster just sitting right there.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up and see what cluster that is. But it's an open cluster, but it's a gorgeous little cluster. I never noticed it, but I start looking tight into the object.
There's so much to see in little tiny patches of sky, right? We're talking about here, and
yeah, exactly.
just so much there.
So much detail in that shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
incredible.
lots to look at.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Very nice. Thank you for sending that in. Oh, this one.
There you go.
I had to grab that. So tell us a little bit about this one, Paul.
So that was yesterday. Well, these are my sisters. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
That was yesterday morning. This is the second annual Witches on the Water. It's a fundraiser. So what happens is, of course, there's all these gals who get all dressed up in, and actually there was a warlock out there too, but they would dress up in their Halloween bestest, and they have to be witches or warlocks, and they go out either on kayaks or paddle boards. And we were very fortunate to have a very foggy morning, which made it even better. And so myself and Tim Brown are out in a boat with our cameras, and we're just zooming all around these people, taking all these photographs. And it was a ball, but it's a fundraiser for the Hampton Food Basket. So so they're going to do, so the last year they did it impromptu, and there was like 4 witches and myself and Tim, and we were out shooting the pictures. And but I posted all the pictures, and it went really crazy online. And they said, well, we're going to come out this year. So they did. There were 17 of them this year.
Wow.
And I suspect next year we'll have 30 to 50, I would think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a Saturday morning. It's the last Saturday before Halloween. And it's just a great thing. You can't see it in this image, but there were people lined up on the bridge, and there were people lined up on the shore. And it was such a great fundraising event for the community of Hampton. So
that's awesome.
So that's what the shot was about.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
A lot of fun.
Okay. Let's go back to our normal screen there.
There's 3 ugly shots.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, well, I guess it's that time, isn't it?
Gentlemen, please.
Oh yeah, okay. So next week's show. I haven't talked to these guys yet about it, but I'm thinking about this. Might take a look at a couple of free observation programs or observing programs that are offered by the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, specifically the Explore the Universe course and the Explore the Moon programs. Now, the reason why I'm talking about them is because they are free programs. You can download them, and you can learn a lot more about the night sky and its treasures, along with our celestial neighbor, the moon. So we might take a little gander through that, see what it's all about, and see what you can download yourself. And if you are a member, you can get a certificate or a pin, but you don't have to be a member to get the information either. So I'll probably go to some links and show you what it's all about. And I think it's a worthwhile a worthwhile topic, and I think it's a worthwhile program actually as well for anybody who's a beginner or even intermediate. Okay, so we might go with that next week. So in closing then tonight, we want to thank you once again for your continued support of our efforts here. Our special thanks once again, of course, to Rosanna for her continued contributions to our program. Thank you, Rosanna. Always do appreciate it. We also hope that those of you who have joined us from Rogers enjoyed the program tonight. Now, if you would like more information about the wonders of the night sky, you can find me at astronomybythebay.ca. And also special thanks to all of you who share our program out there. Trudy, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. Remember, we do love getting your photos too, so send them into SNAS at astronomybythebay.ca or Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com, and we'll be happy to include them on our next broadcast. Now, if you have any suggestions for topics for a future show, please let us know at the same address, and please let your friends and family know as well that we will be back here again next Sunday night at 8 p.m. That'll be Atlantic time. That'll be regular time. No, won't it? Yeah, standard time.
And what are we going to do? We're going to edge
Standard
it.
time.
It'll be that time.
Is that what are we going to do?
We're gonna have
Edutainment.
Edutain. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back at 8 p.m. standard time next week to edutain you on astronomy and the wonders of the night sky. Got to get that in. So for now then, from Mike and Paul and myself, we wish you a safe week, everybody. Lots of clear skies out there, hopefully. And as we like to say, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes pointed up.
Yep.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Don't call Rusty.